Did I call on you already?
No.
Okay, all right. Go ahead.
You mentioned the UN resolution that
Yes.
you announced today. Can you talk about what the goal is with that resolution? And there was a similar one last month that was vetoed by China and Russia. You spoke to the Russian foreign minister. Do you have an assurance that Russia will be on board with this now?
Well, we don't know.
Yeah,
Look, I mean, everyone wouldn't want to see this vetoed again, and then we've made some slight adjustments to the language, but I don't know if it'll avoid a veto or not, but the language isn't very complicated. And I think it's a real test for the UN, right? As a function, as something that functions that can solve global problems.
Yeah.
What is the purpose of the UN? The UN was supposed to be a place where you could peacefully resolve global conflict. Right now you have a country who is unlawfully, criminally, and illegally taking possession of an international waterway and blowing up commercial vessels and putting mines in the water. I don't know if people appreciate like how outrageous this is, how unacceptable it is that any country would fire and try to sink commercial vessels or put mines in the water. Both of these things are illegal. And so we're going to take it to the UN, and we're going to give it another chance to be a forum in which we're not even asking people to like commit troops to the region and help blow up the Iranian boats. All we're asking them to do is to condemn it, to call on Iran to stop blowing ships, to remove these mines, and to allow humanitarian relief to come through because there's humanitarian aid that's trapped. That's it. This is a very modest request. And if you're telling me that the international community and hundreds of countries cannot rally behind that, then I don't know what the utility of the UN system is if it can't even solve something as straightforward as that. And I think to both the Chinese and the Russians, I would argue and have argued that it is in their interest for that resolution to pass and for pressure to be brought on Iran. Because it is in their interest not to see international waterways, including the Straits of Hormuz, be closed down and cause economic chaos
Russia's tankers too?
to
That was
dozens
bad.
and dozens of countries around the world. Okay. Back row, yellow tie. Back row,
Secretary,
yeah.
with CBN News, you've had a deep faith for God and country. At the end of the day, with all that you've been involved in,
keep going.
You've been extremely busy.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
As we all know. I got to ask you, what is your hope for America at a time such as this?
My hope for America?
And how do you personally deal with that?
Yeah, look, I mean, my hope for America is what it's always been. I think it's the hope I hope we all share. We want it to continue to be the place where anyone from anywhere can achieve anything, where you're not limited by the circumstances of your birth, by the color of your skin, by your ethnicity, but frankly, it's a place where you are able to overcome challenges and achieve your full potential. I think that should be the goal of every country in the world, frankly, but I think in the U.S., we're not perfect. Our history is not one of perfection, but it's still better than anybody else's history. And ours is a story of perpetual improvement.
That's right.
Each generation has left the next generation of Americans freer, more prosperous, safer, and that is our goal as well. But it is a unique and exceptional country, and as we come upon this 250-year anniversary, I think we have a lot to learn and be proud of in our history. It is one of perpetual and continuous improvement, where each generation has done its part to bring us closer to fulfilling the vision that the founders of this country had upon its founding. So,
That's right. Secretary, many people want to know, what is your DJ name?
My DJ name?
Your DJ name.
You're not ready for my DJ name.
On the war, if the fighting were to resume, because you've said that Operation Epic Fury is over, the President also said that the U.S. would bomb them off the face of the earth if they tried to go after U.S. ships. So if the fighting resumes, are you saying that it would resume under Project Freedom? And I ask, as it relates to the War Powers Act.
Yeah, look, the Operation Epic Fury is concluded. We achieved the objectives of that operation. I'm not going to, we're not cheering for an additional situation to occur. We would prefer the path of peace. What the president would prefer is a deal. He would prefer to sit down, work out a memorandum of understanding for future negotiations that touches on all the key topics that have to be addressed, a full opening of the straits so the world can get back to normal. And he preferred that be negotiated through the route that Steve and Jared have been working and that all of us have been supporting.
Surely that's
the route he prefers. That is so far not the route that Iran has chosen. And so the result has been that the United States has to do something about the fact that we're the only nation on earth that can do anything to open up a lane within the Straits of Hormuz to get product and to rescue these people that are trapped in there. And that's what we're undergoing now. What that may lead to in the future is speculative. I'm not going to speculate about what it would take or what it would do. But look, the message to Iran, these guys are facing, they are facing real catastrophic destruction to their economy, generational destruction to their economy, generational destruction to the wealth of their country, imposed on themselves by the actions that they're taking. They should check themselves before they wreck themselves in the direction that they're going.
Does the White believe that these votes coming up in Congress are a moot point then?
Look, guys, I love talking about this topic. It's about the War Powers Act. Yeah. Okay, I love it. I was hoping somebody would ask. All right, hold on. No, boy, you don't let me answer. I got to answer the question. Okay, and I love it. I'll tell you why I love it. Because even as a senator,
yourself before
I said
you wreck
something.
yourself.
The War Powers Act is unconstitutional, 100%. Now, this is not the position of me, not the position of the President of the United States now. This is the position of every single president that has occupied this position since the day that law passed. It's completely unconstitutional. Now, we comply with it in terms of like notification because we want to preserve good relations with Congress, right? And we do that. But even as a senator, I would say that the War Powers Act is 100% unconstitutional. And look, I know some of you, whatever you want to say, but this is not this president's position. That has been the position of every single presidential administration since the day that law passes. An infringement on the president's constitutional powers. We don't acknowledge the law as constitutional.
So just saying it
Nonetheless, we comply with elements of it for purposes of maintaining, good relations with Congress. And we want them to be involved and we want them to be informed. I have gone on Capitol Hill, 4 times this year for all senators and all House members and Intel Committee and Gang of 8. We want them to be involved in this. But I want to be clear on the point of the War Powers Act. It's unconstitutional. And every president and every administration has taken that position. All right, guys, I gave you 50 minutes. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank
you. Man, he is the guy. I gotta say it. I think he is the guy. He's aura farming. Yeah, they like him. He's got great answers for everything. Like, I mean, I really gotta say, like, that was impressive. He's doing such an exceptional job. Yeah, and I think that one thing that you have to keep in mind, too, is that he never roaches out or second guesses or even calls into question the judgment of anybody else. And, like, that's something that, like, whenever you're on a team, especially whenever you're trying to make, like, the hardest decisions that you can ever make, like, that is crazy that he doesn't do that, right? And so, anyway, yeah, and, like, the fact that, like, I mean, having somebody like that, the fact that Trump has this guy on his team, like, this is the exact kind of guy that you want to be, like, your main guy. Very presidential? Yes, absolutely. 100% voting for this guy 2020, 28 is as sharp as a nose. Yeah, I mean, I think that he's extremely sharp. Like, I mean, I like JD Vance a lot too, but like, yeah, I mean, I'm definitely on Team Marco for sure. Like, it's been a long time since little Marco in 2016 and 2015, man. It really has. And it's crazy too. Like, I mean, he's totally locked in. He has an answer for things. There's not like any arguments, etc. And keep JD as vice. I think JD. I mean, again, like if he's able to get the fraud under control, I think people would be very happy about that. Absolutely, we're very lucky to have him. Yeah. What's his poly market status? Let me see if it went up now. Let me look and find this out. Yeah. Let me see. Did it go up today? Not yet. At least not yet, but it has gone up massively. JD Vance is down 17%. Marco Rubio, what is this here, is up 14%. So, yeah, Cuban Obama, articulate and charisma. Yeah, charismatic, I know. And so I'm really, really happy to see this. I feel like overall this went really, really well. And yeah, just that's the way I feel about it, right? It just seems great. And Marco, for sure, yeah, definitely. Combined the numbers. Well, I feel like between the two of them, I mean, they're both doing extremely well. Vance is a billionaire plant. Well, I don't know. People say that. A lot of people say that. JD's a great speaker, but Marco has the accomplishments so far. I think that this is my analysis, is that I think JD Vance is a great person for being a overseer of domestic affairs, especially things that are like fraud, Medicare, stuff like that. But like, I think Marco Rubio, because obviously he's multilingual, he's multiracial, and it seems like he has like a shared, I guess like cultural understanding with like more parts of the world besides just America. I think that he's like uniquely positioned to be able to have a just direct casual advantage inside of the international like world, right? I think that's just the truth, right? And multiracial, yeah. I think he's. I don't know if is he just Cuban or is he white as well? I don't know. I mean, I have no idea. I assume that most people generally have like mixed heritage. Like if that's not true, then it's not true. I'm just not even sure. So if he's just Spanish, yeah, he's Spanish and Cuban or something. I'm not even sure. But either way, I think this went really, really, really well. The Republican Party has at least 2 well-established guys. Can't say the same for the Democrats. Well, they have Kamala Harris. They've got Kamala Harris. So really, I mean, what else do you need? What else do you need at that point? I mean, like, you've got it locked in. I mean, you've got the GOAT there. I mean, what's she gonna do? I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with her. She's garbage, I know. But I really think that this is the big problem that the Democrats have, that I think Trump has effectively solved for the Republicans. And I think that it's solved itself. It's not Trump that's done this, but obviously he's helped make it happen, is that Trump has brought in a lot of people that are a lot younger, that are charismatic. It seems like they are competent at the job. And it's basically, you're creating a second level and like a flank behind you that's ready to take over whenever you retire or if something happens, right, or whatever. And I think that's something that the Democrats don't have. I think that the majority of the Democratic leadership is so fractured that they can't. There's not going to be any sort of, like, you're not going to get a lot of these like super pro-Palestine, like Muslim identity politics people to vote for somebody who says that Israel has a right to exist. I don't think it's going to happen. So the problem is that they have too many completely contradictory value systems inside of their party. And the issue is that they can't reconcile any of that. They can't do that at all. So Trump's working it like a business. He's trying to set up a succession plan so it lives past him. Yeah, I think that's clearly what's happening. And so, and I think that he does that. Like, I mean, maybe he's not doing it on purpose, but that it seems like he is, where like he's assigning, like JD Vance and Marco Rubio to just, you're basically in charge of this. You're going to do this. This is going to be a problem. You're going to do this entirely. I'm going to go do something totally different. And like giving them that accountability, I think is a really big deal. So he's the apprentice guy? Yeah, he's the apprentice, exactly. And what they'll even is that? Is she victim maxing? I have no idea what this is. I'll look at this later on, and let me go back. I'll look at this later on too. But yeah, anyway, let me go back. I'll see if I can pull a few more of these here. Criminally, oh my God, there's a lot more of these. Yeah, there's a lot more nutballs. What a surprise. Democrats will win in 10 years. Well, so the Democrats, I think that they're very well positioned to... I think that Democrats winning has everything to do with immigration. And that's the reason why that's like my top issue, is that to the extent that they're not able to import in a bunch of... Feels just like yesterday. Oh my God. I love Hispanics. Man.